Many years ago, hundreds of years ago, during Ramayana, during Mahabharata, almost everybody had their pineal gland activated. Because of that, they were able to have superpowers. Now, why is this important? Once the pineal gland is fully activated, this pineal gland converts into a transducer or like a transmitter. It can now transmit frequency, it can receive frequency. When your pineal gland is activated, in technical terms, also in Hindi mythology called as third eye opening, yeah, also called as Kundalini awakening. Point is, once your pineal gland activates, it goes to that frequency level. And because it goes to that frequency level now, you are suddenly tuned to receive information which earlier you were not capable of. Earlier I was not capable of. You will start attracting opportunities of such higher frequencies that because of that your results will speed up like 10 times. How do you activate your third eye to create magical powers when you're doing your manifestation and achieving your goals? Today, I'm going to show you that when we activate our third eye, what happens and how you start living in the 4-dimension world where you start achieving extraordinary results in your life with lightning speed, and why. That's the science I'm going to explain to you today. So stay with me till the very, very end, because what you're about to learn is the secret of law of attraction which very few people know about. And if you agree with me, later in the comment section, tell me if this was something completely different, completely new that you learned today. Okay, let's get ready. My name is Mitesh Khatri. I and my wife Indu Khatri. We are law of attraction coaches and national best-selling authors of this book, The Law of Attraction. Let's begin. The third eye, what exactly is the third eye? Now, a lot of people see the third eye in Indian mythology as like a proper eye that opens up and then there is radiation. Now, that's not exactly what a third eye is. Scientifically speaking, here is what a third eye is. If you take your brain and you cut it into half, at the center of your brain, between the third eye and between the point here, right in the center of your brain, there is a small gland over there. There's a small piece of the brain, physical piece. It's called as the pineal gland. And you can look it up on Google and you can check with doctors and you can check with neurologists. It's actually there. This pineal gland is what is really the third eye. And I'll tell you how it works. This pineal gland, many, many years ago, and when I'm talking about many years ago, I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of years ago. Once upon a time, almost everybody in common people had their third eye activated. What that means is their pineal gland was activated. Now, why is this important? The pineal gland does something very powerful. It secretes hormones and chemicals. Example, it secretes something called as melatonin chemical. Now, this melatonin is what you actually experience every evening you sleep. When lights are off, your pineal gland activates melatonin. And if it activates melatonin, you start feeling sleepy. A lot of people who have trouble sleeping at night, it's because their pineal gland is not able to activate that hormone, that particular chemical called melatonin chemical. Why? Because lights are on. When you switch off lights, the pineal gland gets a message, time to sleep. That is why you'll observe that animals, the moment it is 6:37, they go to sleep because their brain suddenly starts secreting that melatonin chemical. Now, if you meditate in the right way, you can actually activate the pineal gland, and that is called as the third eye activation. As I was telling you, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, during Ramayana, during Mahabharata, almost everybody had their pineal gland activated. Because of that, they were able to have superpowers. Now, how is the pineal gland connected to superpowers? Let me explain. When you meditate and you activate your third eye and your pineal gland gets activated, how it happens is something that we teach to our platinum members, but I'll give you a little bit of theory about it. And this is also explained in yoga very easily, by the way. When you start breathing in the correct way, example, you've got 7 chakras. So the way we have to do it is we have to breathe from the root chakra. When you breathe from the root chakra and you breathe upwards and upwards and upwards and upwards, and you stop over here and you stop breathing here and you focus all your attention here. Try it right now. Take your one hand, touch your forehead. And as you're touching your forehead, keep all your attention there and breathe. And if you observe when you're breathing, and if you keep all your attention on the third eye right now, because your attention is there, because your focus is there, your energy is flowing there. You will feel the blood circulation increasing more, and you will actually feel the muscles here moving, and you will feel it in your sensations of your fingers. And your breathing actually goes there. That's where your energy flows. If you breathe in the right way, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. But if you do it the correct way, you hold your breath here. And if you do it in the correct method, what it does is that energy of our oxygen, our breathing, it goes and hits the pineal gland. When it hits the pineal gland, there is a mechanical pressure that has been applied on the pineal gland. And on the pineal gland are small crystals. these crystals get activated. When they are activated, they start vibrating. And this is when what we call as third eye opening or pineal gland activation. Once the pineal gland is fully activated because of this breathing exercise, now what happens is this pineal gland converts into a transducer or like a transmitter. It can now transmit frequency, it can receive frequency. So when I said activated, here is what I meant. Right now, our pineal gland is sleeping. It is not fully activated, because of which it is not transmitting, it is not receiving frequency at this point of time. Now, everything in the universe is made of what? Energy. Energy is what? Frequency. And frequency carries information. Example, right now you're watching me on YouTube. It is based on energy and frequency. And this frequency is carrying information of the video that you're watching me from. Correct? Just like that. When your pineal gland is activated, in technical terms, also in Hindi mythology called as third eye opening, yeah, also called as Kundalini awakening. This is explained in yoga very easily, by the way. So when you have a Kundalini awakening or when you activate your pineal gland, at that time, once the transmitter is awakening, which was sleeping earlier, now it starts transmitting and receiving frequency at gamma level. Yes, this is where the science is coming in now. Normally, you and I breathe at brain waves called as beta frequency. Now, beta frequency is between 12 to 21, whereas alpha is relaxed, 7 to 14. Below that is theta, 3 to 7. Now, gamma is where the interesting stuff happens. When you're fully focused at full speed and you're doing problem solving, think of it as an example of people who are pilots and they're flying at, let's say, 100 kilometers an hour, full speed. Their brain is at gamma. Our brain is extremely acute, extremely powerful when it is at the gamma waves. Very few people vibrate at gamma. But once you get to the gamma level and your pineal gland is activated fully, it starts receiving and giving frequency which normally we are not tuned to experience. Example, as a human being, our 5 senses have limitations to what we can perceive in this world in terms of frequency. But a dog, a cat can hear far ahead than human beings do. Why? Because their brain is tuned to that level of frequency. The frequency of sound that we cannot even hear, they can hear it. That's why you'll see if you have a pet dog or a pet cat, you are sitting there and suddenly the pet is like alert. Why? They can hear things we cannot hear because they are intuitively much more awakened than we are. Point is, once your pineal gland activates, it goes to that frequency level, and because it goes to that frequency level now, you are suddenly tuned to receive information which earlier you were not capable of. Earlier I was not capable of. Once we go to that world, in scientific language of quantum physics, there are 2 worlds that we talk about. The 3-dimension world and the 4-dimension world. The 3-dimension world is where we have LST. Everyone write down LST. What is LST? Logic, space and time. The 4-dimension world, there is no LST. There is no logic, there is no space, there is no time. What does that mean? If you have to go from point A to point B, you will have to use logic. Okay, itna time lagega if I start right now, and you will have to cross that space, right? So between point A to point B, there is space, and you will have to consume certain amount of time and spend certain amount of time to go from point A to point B. Now, this is the 3-dimension world. In the 3-dimension world, if you want to achieve results, it takes time. Example, if you want to be able to get a job, first you have to finish your graduation, then post-graduation, then apply for an interview, do good in the interview, give multiple interviews, then you get a job. See, logic, space and time. Everything is logical in the 3-dimension world. But in the 4-dimension world is where the law of attraction magic happens. You must be wondering, ये क्या 3D 4D बोल रहा है? अरे अभी तो मजे की बात आई है. Wait, listen to me. In the 4-dimension world is where the law of attraction works. That is where there is no space there. There is no logic. There is no time. Why? Because frequency in the 4-dimension world is vibrating at a very, very high speed. I'll give you an example. When you see a fan rotating, like right now I'm looking up because there's a fan there. When you see a fan, usually you would see 3 blades. But once the fan rotates at full speed, you can't see 3 blades. You can only see just 1 blade moving, as if there is only 1 blade. But is there only 1 blade? No, there are 3 blades, but you can only see 1 because of the speed at which it's rotating is so fast right now that logically there are 3 blades, but we can't see 3. See, the logic is gone. The speed is so fast that the time that it takes from one point to come back to that point is almost zero, like 0.0000 seconds. It's so fast, lightning speed. The space between point 1 and coming back to that point 1 of the fan is almost nil because it is vibrating that fast. It is circulating that fast. Make sense? Now, at the gamma frequency, frequency is so powerful, so fast, it is oscillating so fast, the waves in the universe around is so fast that there is no logic, there is no space, there is no time. When, now comes the main part, when you activate your pineal gland and you're vibrating at that gamma level, and now if you manifest, now if you say your affirmations, the results that you will get are amazing. Not just results, you will start receiving information which you were not earlier capable of. Example, you'll start getting intuitions of things you've never thought about before. You will start attracting opportunities of such higher frequencies that because of that, your results will speed up like 10 times. In Platinum membership, we say 10 years of success in 1 year. Because in Platinum, where we coach people for lifetime, we help people meditate like that. Use law of attraction, not just in the 3D world, but in the 4-dimension world. And because of that, our Platinum members are able to achieve 10 years of success in 1 year. Do a little more research on this. Do some more study on this, how the pineal gland activation can take you to the 4-dimension world and make you experience results like crazy. I'll give you another example. When I was learning about the 4-dimension world some time ago, and I was learning about activating the pineal gland activation, we were in a 7-day meditation retreat. And there was a lady that had come there who had breast cancer. And she had breast cancer, and that cancer was spreading. It is also called as metastatic cancer, which means it spreads in the body. Now, her cells, which are good cells in the body, which actually fights cancer, were also missing. Very less cells. So she was dying at a very rapid speed. This retreat, where we activate pineal gland for magical receiving powers of gamma waves, is where she came as her last hope. She meditated all 7 days, and believe it or not, in front of our eyes, we saw her. She went and she did a PET scan and she came back. 3 weeks after that, she met us in a follow-up retreat, and she actually told us, she showed us her scans, cancer was gone. Zero trace of cancer in her body. Not just that. I personally met a lady in that retreat who was 77-year-old. Her name is Mary. Mary was having a back problem because someone at the age of 70, when she was 70, about 7 years ago, a guy had abused her physically. Can you believe it? Someone abusing a woman at the age of 70. And because of that, her spinal cord was completely crushed. She couldn't walk. She couldn't get up. She was bedridden completely. But she was attending this workshop in a wheelchair because somebody told her that maybe at that pineal gland activation level, when she starts transmitting frequency and receiving frequency at God level speed, she can probably receive frequencies with information of healing, which is not possible in the 3-dimension world, but it is possible in the 4-dimension world. So she came for that. She did meditation with us for 7 days. On the 6th day, believe it or not, she just got up and she actually started walking. Isn't this amazing? Like the moment when she stood up like this, she was like a ninja. She knew exactly what she was doing. She walked with me for 3 kilometers. I was scared walking with her for 3 kilometers because I thought she could fall down any time. Now she had a spring in her neck. That is why she was wearing a huge belt. And believe it or not, if she walks in the wrong way, she could hurt herself. But the magic is she was healed. She walked for full 3 kilometers, and today I'm still in touch with her, and she's getting magical speed of healing even today because she continues to practice activating her pineal gland. Now, you want to learn more such amazing things, be part of our Platinum membership. Want to know what is Platinum? There's a link below in this video. Click on that, register now, and I'll tell you about how do we help our Platinum members achieve 10 years of success in 1 year by living in the 4-dimension world. Ready to be there? Click on the link right now, register there, and tell me in the comment section below, did you learn something new? I promised you in the video today that you will learn something very new about law of attraction and the 4-dimension world. Something so new that your brain is confused, like, what is he talking about? But see, that's what happens when we learn something completely new. Our brain goes confused because we are learning something that doesn't make sense because it has no past information about that. But do a little more research, come back to me in the comment section and tell me that I was right. See you soon in the next video. And before that, remember to click on the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. So next time I'm creating such amazing lessons for you, you definitely get a notification from me. Okay? See you soon. Bye-bye.